Yeah. 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 I was a little kid from the South. Now I'm here. Life been full of fears. When I walked around the city, I was scared, it wasn't pretty. I was trying to really fit in, trying to have some friends. Being a young southern boy on the west coast, nigga was doing the most. But I grew up kinda hard. Me and my sister grew apart. My mother worked hard for us to get that paper, in God we trust. There was never no envy. Tried to give us a life for seeing me being persecuted by the enemy. Yeah. Before the storm. Yeah. Before the storm. It's always calmness before the storm. Before the storm. It's always calmness before the storm. Don't take shelter from this rainstorm. There'll be no rescue from this deluge. The storm is great. Your heart and life it'll take. Always look up to the sky, look to God for support from the Lord. He'll take care of you every day. So don't fucking stray. Live your life right, work hard, get your paper. All these haters out there, yeah, see them later. Fuck them girlfriends who always asking to go on a date. The money they gon' fucking take, they don't care, they some fakes, they don't love you, dog. Get your motherfucking bread and leapfrog all your problems and do it right. Yeah, before the storm. Welcome to the Korner Store Podcast. I am your host, OMD 300, aka Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. And welcome to another edition of the Korner Store Podcast. It is March 17th. It's Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. And let me tell you something, man. If California ain't one hot ass place on this planet, I don't know where else could be. Maybe the Gobi Desert, maybe the Sahara Desert, maybe Death Valley in California. I don't know. But today it's going to be a whopping 94 degrees where I live in the San Fernando Valley, just 20-something, 30-odd minutes outside of downtown Los Angeles. Yo, it's hot as hell out here. There's a strong breeze, though. It's about a 25-mile-an-hour, 30-mile-an-hour breeze breezing through the San Fernando Valley right now. It's hot. It is hot. As of right now, it is, let me see. Shit, it was 77 degrees at like 6 in the morning. So, you know, it's 92 right now. It's 92 degrees where I am in the San Fernando Valley. Welcome to the Korner Store Podcast. We got a lot going on in the United States. Obviously, you know about we're at war with Iran. I don't know how the hell that happened. I don't know what. At this point, even the Congress is powerless. The Senate is powerless. Everybody's powerless with this psychopathic dude running the country. At this point, I just don't even know what to say about that. That's on the political front. In entertainment news, the Oscars was this Sunday, and the homeboy, Michael B. Jordan, won Best Actor. Ryan Coogler won for Best Screenplay. I'm pretty sure it wasn't for Best Director. It was Best Original Screenplay. He won for that. The Wardrobe woman won for Sinners. And what was the fourth one? I forget. I don't think it was cinematography. It was something. The four they had it was 16 nominations for Sinners. Sinners only won 4 Oscars. Delroy Lindo was unceremoniously snubbed from winning Best Supporting Actor. Would have gave Sinners 5 Oscars if they had. They could have gave that. They should have gave that to him. If they knew they were going to let one battle after another be Best Picture, and it won, I think one battle after another won 6 Oscars. If they knew they were going to do that, they should have get. Because Sean Penn's performance in that was, if you saw one battle after another, like I have, it's kind of that's the reason why I'm stalling because it's like this is my podcast, this is my channel. I can be honest. That was a horrible movie. You know, this guy who he's married to Minnie Riperton's daughter, the girl from Saturday Night Live. I know her name. I don't know why I'm running a blank right now. And Maya, God damn it, Maya. I'll just say her first name. But anyway, he's married to her. His name Paul Anderson, the gentleman I think is the guy who created One Battle After Another, directed it, maybe wrote it, whatever. That movie stunk, man. It's a film. That's all I can say. It's like, either let me put you this way. Sinners is an artsy film. It's a horror film, but it has so much. It's a deep movie. I was surprised how moved I was by this movie. Had a real dark overtone, but it had so many messages in it visually. The words were one thing, the setup to the story, the juke joint, the two brothers. Michael B obviously was best actor this year. There was not a more dynamic role, a more role with so much levels to it. With all that said, he took the film and turned it into his own. He deserved best acting. Not everybody's going to key in on him playing two different people. That was extraordinarily amazing off top. The layers that he gave those two characters, they had layers. That's hard to do for an actor to not only play two people, but give these two people who look identical because he's playing twins so much emotion and layers for each character. The brother, they were talking about that he had some mental stuff he had to work through to come out of those characters. Because you put yourself, it's almost a split personality in that sense of it. He deserved best actor. I don't think there was another performance you could have. Benicio del Toro, no. He was Benicio del Toro in that, just like he was Benicio del Toro in Sicario, both of them. Stoic face, walking slow, low tone dialogue. I'm going to, same stuff. Why you give him an Oscar for that? Why? He was good in that crazy movie, One Battle After Another. I don't know how that became a popular film. I don't know. That movie to me is a quintessential depiction of taking something, and it's almost I loved Marty Supreme got killed. I think it might have won 1, 2, but Marty Supreme, that shit was garbage. And even if you were like, oh, that's art, that movie stunk. Timothy Chalamet has played in a lot of films. There's certain people they're pushing, they'll get behind them, and he's a good kid. He's funny. He's gonna be in some Marvel shit soon or some shit like that. And he's gonna keep doing art films and things of that nature. I wasn't really fond. I'm a big fan of Doom. I wasn't really fond of his portrayal of the prince from the movie Doom. Uh, I was looking for way more. The original was really crazy and took me years to understand Dune. It's a real crazy sci-fi epic that you got to really pay attention to and listen to the dialogue and understand what who are the fremen, who are the, you know what I'm saying? You got to really, so it took me some years to soak that up, to immerse myself in that world, to be able to understand that film. So, but I was happy that Marty Supreme got snubbed. I can't stand Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank show, that business so called. He ain't no, but most of these people are nothing but venture capitalists. The dude on the panel for Shark Tanks, let me segue to Shark Tank. The people on the panel of Shark Tank that's really, really business creators and builders. Lori, the chick from QVC, business builder, no doubt about it. Damon John, coming from the streets of New York, having nothing, sewing shit out of his mom's house, the whole shit, getting loans, becoming a billionaire, building companies. He's worth several $100 million. Maybe not a billionaire, but he's in that area. He's like maybe 500 million bucks. Damon John, real business. Mark Cuban, for sure, businessman, create shit, sell shit, came up with HD. You in that, HD is they thing. HD Streams was the first show on the internet as well as network TV as the first high def show. So building is it. But Kevin O'Leary, that motherfucker's a venture capitalist. That's all he is. He made some money at one time, took that money and invested it. All he wants to say is, I have this in my portfolio. All of them can say that, but which one of them are really builders of companies, infrastructure and shit like that? I'm sure because he's rich and he hear me saying this, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? First off, nobody should be listening to you. I am rich. I have this. No, nigga. Give me $10 million and I'll go to some smart people to tell me where to put that money and watch it grow. Just like you did. That's all you did. And as you went through that process of investing and becoming wealthy, you sat on boards. You've heard about stock numbers and which stocks to get. You heard about how much margins are for products and like that. I'm not trying to take nothing away from him, but he is not more of a builder of businesses than any of those people in there. And I hated that he was in the movie Marty Supreme. That's really ultimately why I was saying that, because I can't stand Kevin O'Leary. He's an asshole. You know what I'm saying? If you are in the business with him, he's telling you right off, I don't give a shit about you. I don't want to. And it's fine. Business is business. Personal is personal. I get it. But whoever I'm going to allow myself business-wise, we got to kind of have a personal relationship too at the same time. You ain't got to come for Thanksgiving or none of that, but we got to be personable. I got to know what kind of person you are. You know what I'm saying? I got to kind of know you. You know what I'm saying? You could be. That's the reason why a lot of these people are in bed in these business world with all of these people they know. They find out they're child molesters and shit. It ain't like I get kind of cool with Kevin O'Leary if we were business partners and 15 years go by, I think I know him and I find out something about him. That could happen to anybody. I get it. But still, you want to kind of know who you're dealing with, and just being around people, you'll figure it out. But with all of that said, man, like I said, there's a lot of crazy shit going on. Preferably with this nutsy cuckoo ass president we got right now. This dude is absolutely, I don't like talking to people. Absolutely insane. And this is some of the stuff that this fucking guy has been doing and saying lately.
If we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time. We have some that are really enthusiastic. They're coming already. This isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. If we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us. We want them to come and help us with the straight. My attitude is, we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them.
That man is absolutely insane. That's Trump contradicting himself in a 30-minute period, talking on camera that he's gotten us into a war with Iran, and Iran was waiting for this situation to happen. You hear what I'm saying to you? They've been knowing the right president gets in that office that Israel can control, and they do have that now with this fucking guy. They know they can control him not only with money, but they know they got somebody in office that they have dirt on. I'm gonna make a proclamation right now to everybody. After Donald Trump leaves this office, either one or two things is gonna happen. He's either gonna die or he's going to jail. Now, the only reason why I say he's either going to die is I think at this point, a couple, 2, 3 years from now, his health is going to be so bad that I think he's going to perish, or because he doesn't have the purview or the safety net of being president and being prosecuted or having scrutiny on his ass as a private citizen, they're going to either take him out, the people that he works for, and I think he is a Russian operative. I really do believe that. Even though they'll play, because they play these games like they hate Putin and all this other shit. No, they don't. No, they don't. I'm telling you, he working for the dude. And the other thing is, either that's going to happen or he's going to go to jail. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to go to jail because this man has had people's kids killed in the first term because he wanted to lift restrictions and, basically infect the whole country with a deadly disease, even if it was a disease that got loose from America. I don't give a shit how COVID started. I don't care. You don't tell people to take masks off if you know masks is going to save lives. So I think he's responsible for several hundred thousands, if not millions of people perishing from that because they're so stupid and naive that they will believe, this government's trying to kill them. And I don't know what the government's doing. I just know at that particular time, if mask was something that could stop us from dying, I was going to wear one. At least when I was like in a place with other motherfuckers. When I'm in my car, that's one thing. When I'm out in the park somewhere, that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's like 1 trillion people in the park. If a lot of people came around, I threw a mask on during that time. You know what I'm saying? But people are in this rebellious fucking mind state. In the last 15, 20 years, they have been in this rebellious mind state against everything. I think that the internet has a lot to do with it, which is fine. The internet's not the problem. It's the misinformation and the psycho shit from people who are just telling you some crazy shit that people are starting to latch on to for whatever reason. Some people just listen to people because they look good to them. Oh, he's so handsome or she's so beautiful. She must be telling the truth. That's how naive people are. Listen to the rest of what this fucking idiot's been saying.
Well, would rather not get involved, sir. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them.
That's just crazy.
From horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor, very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. Well,
this motherfucker's insane. He gets us in a fucking war, can't fight his way out of it. The mightiest army in the world, all this technology, and those goddamn Iranian people have dug in They've got underground bunkers they've been building for years and missiles. How you can't all of these so-called bombs that's supposed to be able to blow up whole city blocks and pierce bunkers, bunker busters supposed to go down 3 or 4 levels underground and blow shit up. Where's all this stuff at y'all was talking shit about? The Strait of Hormuz is only 20 miles wide. Y'all can't protect those oil tankers with this super technology, all this super warfare shit. It's all full of shit, man. It's all propaganda. We believe anything these motherfuckers tell us. We believe anything they tell us. The same could be said about what I was saying about the masks. What if that? I don't know what's going. Put it to you this way. We're all confused as regular people. We don't know what the fuck is going on. This dude is absolutely losing his mind. He is begging other countries to come help them. And basically what the thing is, what he wants them to do is he wants them to send their troops. He wants England to send their troops. He wants Germany to send their troops and put their boots on the ground, not their ships. He's told, we need your ships. We need your ships. What he doesn't want American ships sunk. It's going to cost billions. If you send American ships into the Strait of Hormuz over there, they're going to get sunk or damaged. They're going to hit them with missiles. They are. The Iranians, I don't even know if they're from Lebanon or not, but they have freedom fighters that are on boats and they're fucking those oil tankers up, man, shooting rockets at them, sinking them, fucking them up. Oil leaking all out in the damn. And now this bastard is doing shit like this. He's actually belly aching because he's calling other countries to come bail him out. And they're like, man, fuck you. All the shit you've been talking, putting tariffs on our countries. Are you insane? What? He's crazy. How you going to... Trump asking these people to come help is almost like him walking up to you, spitting in your face, and then telling you, can I borrow? And then he asking you, can I borrow your handkerchief to wipe my face off? And you just spit in my face. He's insane, bro. Bro is truly crazy.
Have your advisors told you anything in terms of how long we can expect gas prices as high as they are right now?
I don't need advisors to tell me that. I know what it is. When this is over, oil prices are going to go down very, very rapidly. Frankly, much more important than short-term or even long-term oil prices. You can't let the most violent, vicious country in the last 50 years have a nuclear weapon.
It sounds like he's talking about the United States. This is the most bloodthirsty country in the history of the world. It's superseding Hannibal. It's superseding Genghis Khan. It's superseding all of the damn Caesars that Rome ever had. It's getting to the point where it's almost as bad, if not worse, than Hitler. So all of the shit Hitler did was condemned, and he's a horrible, violent, weird, sadistic, absolutely insane son bitch. But you can't tell me that same kind of leadership has not been over here in the United States. They've actually, if you go to my channel today, you go to the stories on my channel today, I put up new stories. Sugarland, Texas, they found fucking black people buried in Sugarland, Texas, that were used in slave labor to make sugar cane, to cut sugar cane for the sugar company, which ultimately made Sugarland, Texas billions of dollars. And that's how that city was created. And that's why there's a Sugarland, Texas. They found graves of dead. They found graves of dead black men who had been working out there on them sugar canes that was supposedly... They used to jail black people. They used to put them in jail for small crimes, vagrancy, shit like that. Vagrancy, being homeless shouldn't have been no crime, but back in the day, it used to be. but they used to get the most outlandish sentences, like 7, 8 months on the chain gang for vagrancy. And it's out there. It's 100 degrees. Anybody ever been to Texas? You think California hot? Go to fucking Texas. Texas hot as fuck. And they used to have them men out there cutting sugar cane with all them snakes and rattlers in the sugar cane fields. And they out there passing out. They giving them water like every hour. And these dudes found dead. Not only that, in Texas as well, when slavery was abolished, Texas landowners and farm owners didn't tell the slaves that they owned that they were free. They kept them for over 2 years before the military, for the government had to finally send troops down there to tell them to free the blacks. They wasn't going to let them go. And any black that found out they were free some kind of way, they make a movie about this shit, people going to be crying like babies. Because and they actually talking about Iran and how vicious they are. The Iranians over there chilling. What it is they want to steal that oil over there. They want that natural resources. These people will kill for money, man, and claim it's for the American people. I'm not a dollar gonna trickle. You're paying for them to steal from other motherfuckers. This is the craziest shit I ever seen in my life. They sick as hell. You can't tell me this shit ain't crazy and sick. They'll take your tax money. The explanation is too overwhelming sometimes. They'll take your tax money, and there's people living fucking check to check. And if you got sick or something and you couldn't go to work and they don't pay sick, you talking about somebody pissed off. And then they had a nerve to have you try to send you a summons to be on a fucking jury duty. And they pay you $15, $20, $30 a day on jury. These motherfuckers is crazy, bro. I ain't got time to be playing with y'all. This country's crazy, bro. You don't really see it until you get old enough. Kids, they just worried about shaking their booties and partying. When they finally get to this age and they understand this place, that's why a lot of people start losing their fucking marbles and really realizing where they live and how they're living. You start to lose it. You be like, man, is it? All right, perfect example. I have to go see my kid's mom tomorrow. I have to help her out. Thank God she's doing better and she's, but she still needs help being, driven to appointments and things like that. I got a 21-year-old a child that lives over there. Don't have no license, just stays in the house, scared of the world. And let me tell you something. I understand why this child feels this way. There's a lot going on in their head. But the fact that today's kids are like that, my son snapped out of his fear of being who he needs to be. He decided to go to the military. This is the craziest time in the world to be in the military for sure. Hopefully it don't get so ridiculous to where his fleet or his support ship has to go out there to this bullshit. But it is what it is. But this young man had I was trying to get him to go to the military when he was much younger after high school, when the college thing didn't look like it was going to pop off. But he was not trying to hear it. So you got to let them do what they do. And he finally, later in life, like, yeah, man, I better go and do this. And he's building up his momentum. He's building up his money. He's building up his momentum for when he gets out and he can be, rock and roll. But I understand why these kids have these fears now, because they know a lot more about this world today than we did. We grew up naive as a motherfucker. We grew up being set up to be these worker bees and work on these jobs, these back-breaking, bone and jaw-breaking jobs, and just put our heads down and pay bills and scratch for a life. These kids today are more, they hate that term woke. That's the reason why you hear it all the time. Kids are woke. They know that this shit is a sham. They know that this whole existence they've created here, buying a home, getting a part of the apple pie, all that shit is slogans and propaganda and bullshit. It's all fake. It's all fake while some motherfucker sitting at a beach collecting 100K per fucking T-bill or whatever the fuck he's invested in, laughing at all you people buying Prada and Birkin bags and all this bullshit. That shit's not worth the fucking stitching in it. They got that bag made for less than $30 and they're selling it to you for 7, 8,000. I used to talk shit about Skechers. Skechers shoes. Skechers shoes high as hell now. But I used to talk shit when they first came out. Cause they nobody knew what they were. Those are old people shoes. Man, get the fuck out of here. You put motherfucking Snoop or some motherfucker on that shit, all of a sudden motherfuckers wearing that shit because it's a name brand now all of a sudden. Don't let this country fool you, man. This is a buy and sell place. And they've bought and sold human beings. They've bought and sold land. They've bought and sold buildings. They've bought and sold inventions. This place is built on money, and that's it. That's the reason why we're in this war. It's about money. That's the reason why Venezuela was attacked. It's about money. That's why Maduro, this place is crazy. And if you don't think that some politician in the United States government somewhere is not in the bed with the Mexican mafia or any cartel down from Colombia all the way up through the South Americas, all the way to Mexico, you're fucking insane. They are getting money off of that too. There's a bunch of dots to connect, but somebody in this government somewhere, federal, state level, is involved. Obviously, we don't know who. Obviously, this is all alleged, but I'm going to say it in my gut. I know this to be a fact. Somewhere. And it's usually the most arrogant motherfucker, usually the most loud motherfucker, the most want to be seen motherfucker. You know narcissists when you see them, and half of the time they're in some shit that's just stank as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, I look, you know who I'm talking about. If you working somewhere in state, local government, and you know what I'm saying, in your area, and you see this live stream, you be like, yeah, that's such and such. I'm the big man telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? There used to be this mayor, this black mayor. She had her government on lock like that. She was fucking with all the residents. Them people wanted that woman out. She was incredibly insane. A fucking gangster basically took over a whole goddamn town, its police force, and its district attorney's office. There's some black chick that they finally got out of there. I haven't heard nothing else about her. I forget what town it is. I think it was in Michigan. Let me tell you, this world is insane. And all people do is they end up growing up. If you go to college, you start hearing and understanding more and more. You have a choice to either go the moral compass way or you go the grimy stank way. There's a lot of people, Tim Scott, Byron Jack Johnson, or whatever, all these black people that are down with talking about blacks that are federal, employees, federal government, politicians, all that. They're grabbing at money. In their minds, the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to get rich. We're going to protect whatever little shit we got going. They're thinking in their mind and talking about their own people, dragging their own people through the mud, is that they're on the winning team. While I can guarantee you, there's no way none of these people don't go home and go in the bathroom in the room and be like, God, I'm so sorry I'm going against my people, but I got to do this. These white people run everything. That's their fear. That's their fear. Their fear have made Jesse Lee Waters, old, ugly black man, supposed pastor that does this online stuff. He's a grifter. He knows that if he just race baits and as a black man and say, what's wrong with black people? Like he's not one of us, that he's going to make money doing that. That's what this country will force you to do. It'll force you to do whatever you think you have to do to make some money so you can be comfortable and feel safe, because they have made it quite clear in the United States that if you do not have bread, if you do not have money, You are nothing. Dudes, I'm watching as I'm doing my show. There's in the background, there's this show, First Take on ESPN. You guys know who this guy, Stephen A. Smith, is. And he's been vilified lately for saying some real crazy things. He's another dude that's now on this kick of kind of, he's always low key been that way, saying stuff about the wig. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's never let his head rear of who he really was. He was always right there. People like, why ain't he saying shit for years now? We be like, I don't know about bro, but you still hang on in there because he'll say something loud. You know what I'm saying? People's like, okay, here, brother, talking about Winston Salem State and HBCUs. So you be like, okay, well, he must be black. But as soon as he got that new contract where his money was over 100 million and all that, the real Stephen A. Smith reared his head. And he made no bones about, I'm trying to get this money. He said it. He said it. They will tell you who they are. People have said to me, you got a lot of followers now. You're not where you need to be financially. You talk a lot of stuff on your pods about if someone offered you this, you wouldn't do this for that. I'm going to tell you to your face. Dude said this to my face. I'm going to tell you to your face. You know, we cool and everything, but I guarantee you the right money come, and then they tell you just to say this one thing against blacks or something, you're going to do it. I looked at this nigga, I was like, nigga, you're fucking, I've been broke forever. The biggest paydays I've had was in the small thousands and I was blown away. So I've been broke all my fucking life. I've never seen 100K, ever. I've never seen 50,000, ever. The most money I've ever seen and didn't even get it all at once was 20-some thousand dollars. And that shit was broke down into some increments. And it was almost like I never had 20K. That's how fast it's gone. So a motherfucker think just because some nigga, if a dude knocked on that door right now and he had a check for 10 mil and he says, all you gotta do from now on, and we'll promote your little channel, is to start talking negatively about blacks and be down with I'll be like, get the fuck out of here. I've been homeless. I've had the worst thing that could happen to you other than death. And it wasn't nobody raped me and no stupid ass bullshit, nothing like that. But motherfucking just having nothing, no food, nothing, just be like, damn, I'm down here doing pretty bad right now. What the fuck? In a state that you don't even know. That was in Georgia. No disrespect to the state of Georgia. I'll never live there ever again, ever. I don't give a fuck if I'm sitting on $2 billion. That's not one state I'll be spending my $2 billion in. Ever. Never again. Will I visit? Yeah, I'll visit. I got folks there. Visit for sure. But I'm not staying there. Nah, I'm good. If I had to, I don't know. And I know it's around it, Florida, Alabama, you know what I'm saying, Kentucky, shit like that. I don't know if I'd live in any of those states around it. There's not a whole lot of places in the United States that I would reside. You know what I'm saying? California, the thing about California that could be kind of dope is that you could set yourself in a situation where you really by yourself. You right. If you got enough money, you could set it up to where you really, not really, you in LA and you can get places and it's not hard and you ain't in no crazy canyons and shit like that, and get to the city and you can set yourself up that way if you like, depending on the city you move in. Because look, if you're a billionaire that's not a notarized billionaire, meaning like people don't know you, you know what I'm saying? And you making some money investing and you just came in there and you doing it and the money's going to keep making itself and blah, blah, blah. You could live in La Habra, the best parts of La Habra, or, you ain't got to live, you know what I'm saying, and be very isolated and be very smooth and have your dogs and Nobody's calling, talking about weed smoke or nothing. Because you got that. That's your shit. It's locked. The area is perfect for you to do what do. Because I know if I had enough money, I'm going to find the perfect it's place. Perfect. Because in my mind, this is going to be where the dogs are. Me. If anybody comes into the property of my future that I'm going to obtain through the Almighty's blessings and continuing to do what I'm doing and work, you got serious problems because it's going to be set up in such a way that you really invade my property. I've set it up to where nobody can get back here. It's cameras, it's all that. And for you to get back there, you must want to get bit up and shot up. That's my place in the future because I'm going to tell you, in this country, if you're going to live in the United States, and I know there's people that live in areas where they all close and the neighbors know each other. And you know what I'm saying? I've been to people's houses in their neighborhood. Oh, wow, everybody seems pretty tight over here. And if you living in one of those situations, that's beautiful. Just like the TV show The Neighborhood, which I'm a big fan of. If there's neighborhoods like that in Pasadena where everybody's like cool like that, that's dope. But that's rare. And especially if you can afford, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the people that's on that show, Cedric Tintain, Tichina Arnold, all them niggas don't live like that. Those stars of that show, even the white people that's in the show, they all got smooth spots, secluded and everything because they know that world is TV. And there are people in real life who, like I said, who I know that have cool situations, living arrangements and everything like that. And they, my neighborhood is cool, but everybody over here we ain't kicking it like that. These people in my neighborhood have the same mindset that I had. But if they had enough money, they'd be living somewhere tucked away and secure, come out, go to the park, meet people, see that, and go back home to that seclusion. I want to be able to read a book in my backyard with high enough walls that if a cougar or some shit jump over my walls, first off, I want to be in my backyard with a gun if I want to have a gun in my hand or a gun near me. Just for the fuck of it. Or wearing a gun thing. Just for the fuck of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. In a neighborhood like this, you could do that if you get all the proper licensing. But if I'm a millionaire, proper licensing ain't even a factor when you got a lot of money and you have a lot to lose. And if the cops do come and say, well, why you had this gun? Well, I'm just, it's not registered. Nah, I bought it here, And you got a lawyer. Call that nigga that had a gun, this gun thing. Hopefully he can get you out of it. It wasn't like you brandished it or nothing. You in your house, everything. It's not, they check the gun, all that. They'll probably give you a slap on the wrist. And then if you're a millionaire, why not just go to the range and pay, especially if you ain't got no record, and go buy your guns when you can walk around the house like that. So, that's the thing. They make everything about money over here, even gun ownership, especially in California because of the Black Panthers. They got scared because California used to be like all these southern southern states and the states that are open carry, like Florida. They changed all that back in the 1960s and 70s because the Panthers marched on Sacramento. And Ronald Reagan was the governor at the time, and he was like, nah, y'all ain't finna do that. So they changed all the laws, and now you got to have all these licenses in California in order to have a weapon. Now, Trump was talking all this shit about Spain, Germany, the UK. He called the prime minister of the UK begging, I need help in this Strait of Hormuz. They fucking American ships and shit up. They don't even want to send the small ships in there because they're going to get sunk and there's billions of dollars. Do you know they're spending over $9 billion a day in this war? $9 billion. This is what Spain said.
And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
According to international law, how could countries react if the US attempts to seize their military bases?
Well, they would have a right to shoot down American aircraft that were invading their airspace without consent.
And now Spain actually.
So this motherfucker just said and threatened all of the NATO allies that if we ask to use your bases and you don't let us, and we just happen to need to land for whatever reason, we just gonna use your damn airstrip without even asking you. We just gonna land. The fuck is wrong with this motherfucker? Listen to this.
He also warned that if the conflict escalates, Israel may contemplate the use of a nuclear weapon. Has he shared that assessment with you?
No, yes. And Israel wouldn't do that. Israel would never do that. And yeah, there's a theory. You pounded them to hell and you can just leave now and it'll take 10 years for them to build back not nearly what they have right now. And I guess that's another theory, but we want.
He also warned that if the conflict.
So now there's the threat of Israel actually trying to use a nuclear weapon to stave off the continued bombing. They have been bombing with missiles, these ballistic missiles, nice motherfucking airbursts, some of them, and some are contact, meaning some blow up in the air before and drop ordnance, and then some actually hit the ground. And this so-called Iron Dome that Israel used to be boasting about, all these so-called interceptor missile launching systems that detect incoming rockets and then fire to intercept them, missing. They're not hitting shit. And they've been bombing the fuck out of Tel Aviv. And there are rumors that Benjamin Netanyahu has actually been killed. And these are all alleged and rumored. But here's some of the other stuff this idiot 47 has been saying.
Zero. We don't need oil. We have all the oil we need for ourselves. It's one of the great assets that we have. We have more than double what anybody else in terms of oil production. We're at more than double any other country. So we don't need it, but we did it. It's almost, you could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. But we did it because we have some good allies there. We have some great Middle Eastern countries there, Israel there. So we did it for a lot of reasons. But
now this is what Trump was saying. Trump on his war against Iran. We did it. You could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. He's saying that the American government has a habit of going to war. If this motherfucker is not impeached and just, if this will be the first time ever, but they need to stand bro in front of a firing squad and shoot him and watch him doo-doo on himself. Because this is crazy, bro. For money, I think what if you found out that all of this shit and him being president these last 2 times he's been president, and then you find out that this last election was some kind of way rigged and it was weird. Because how do you lose the popular vote? Then I know the electoral college. It all seems like it's all bullshit. But what if you found out all that shit was everything that's been done these last 2 times he was president was just for shits and giggles, and they was just doing this shit to throw a monkey. All these so-called businessmen that are failing businessmen and all these so-called people who weren't being listened to, like Stephen Miller and all these different people weren't being listened to or taken seriously. And they decided to tap into the underbelly of racism in this country because people were really hiding their racism. There are a lot of white co-workers that black people had that probably thought that they was, these white people were their friends, and then you find out how they really feel about voting for this dude and all that, and then they come out with, what I'm saying? A lot of shit was revealed with this guy. What if they did all this, Trump and all his cronies did all this just for shits and giggles, just to throw the country into turmoil, knowing that they would have enough money to continue to be comfortable and wait out all of his bullshit, and if gas went too high, so what? We got electric cars, and they probably got all free Teslas and shit like that, because they're not driving no gas. They're going to the electric pump. You know what I'm saying? What if you found out? How would you feel? How would the people who voted for him feel if they found out, if he just came out, this was all a hoax? We did this just to throw a monkey wrench in this so-called utopia you call America. We're fucking pissed off with America because they don't respect us. That's the reason why I became president, just to fuck everything up. What if he did that? How would you feel? I want some get back. That's for damn sure. Listen to what this a-hole said after that.
I think Cuba, I don't know, in its own way, if tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island, great weather. They're not in a hurricane zone, which is nice for a change, They won't be asking us for money for hurricanes every week. But I think Cuba's the end. All my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I can do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. They were for a long time. Very violent leaders. I think Cuba.
So now this motherfucker is talking about annexing Cuba and taking Cuba, which would cost American taxpayers billions and billions of more dollars in defense, and paying defense contractors to come up with even more sophisticated ways to kill people without so-called putting down boots on the ground. And you know good and well that the Cuban people are going to fight to the last tooth and nail before they ever, and why he's talking tough like this, because there's a lot of Cuban immigrants in the United States, and a lot of them voted for Trump because they want to be rich. They've never been rich. If you come from a country like Cuba and you come to America poor, just like Scarface, Al Pacino was Cuban. He was a Cuban refugee in that film. And if you listen to what they said in that Brian De Palma directed film, that when you come to America, it's about coming there to get powerful. Some Cubans would come there, just like Tony Montana's mother, and say, we work hard. And, and she was mad when he come over there with the suits and the money. You make all us Cubans look bad. But see, not a lot of those same Cubans that was just like his mother that threw him out of the house voted for Trump because they feel like Cubans like Al Pacino's character need to be deported because they were the bad Cubans. So they voted for Trump thinking they was going to deport other Hispanics that were bad because we want to be like Trump and become. See, Trump is a figment of a lot of people's imagination of what America is about. Businessman, came from a rich family and continued to, but he's fraud. He's been bankrupt over 10 times. He's been bankrupt. He's defrauded contractors, construction companies, families, business partners. He's defrauded so many people and never gone to jail because he has enough, money to have lawyers on retainer. And this is the dude that's become president because see what happens in America is most people see themselves in this dirtbag because he's a so-called everyday man. He's like an everyman. He's a fat slob. You see, most people are not in good physical condition. They go to work and they work on trucks and they're mechanics and they're furnitures and look at a lot of people that support MAGA that support them. A lot of them are in shape. Some of them, a majority of them are not, especially the people at the rallies. You can look at these people. They're all, they're dying inside, physically and mentally. So they see themselves in Trump. When you look at Trump, you don't see a healthy person. He's probably the most unhealthy president we've had in many, 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 many moons. Not bright at all. This is not a smart dude, man. And he's the president because there's a lot of people who are not very intelligent in the United States anymore. People, if you Google or even go to YouTube and Google the videos of content creators asking the most simple historical questions like, what is the capital of the United States of America? And people don't even know. People don't even know Washington, D.C. is the capital. I will put a testimony to anybody on the live stream or anybody that's going to see this content. Go out for yourself and go. You don't got to do no content. Just go ask regular people. Excuse me, do you know I got $20? You could tell me the capital of the United States. It's going to be a gang of people don't know how to answer that question. I'm telling you. A gang of people. You're going to be shocked. There's a not very smart education is at its lowest. We're in the 40s in the whole world in education, man. The United States. Let that sink in. Now, with that said, let's hear some more of this psychopath.
I've always felt that was a weakness of NATO. We were going to protect them, but I always said when in need, they won't protect us. Now, this isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. But I will say that we built the greatest military in the world, and we protect people. And if we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us, because we've helped them for years stay out of wars.
We know what Donald Trump thinks of NATO, and it is not much. He's called the alliance weak, our enemies within it delinquent and untrustworthy, telling Americans and the world that we don't need them. Except apparently now we do. With Iran choking off the Strait of Hormuz, President Trump is now demanding they send their warships to help, or else. In past moments where the president has tried to bully NATO, we've seen a lot of leaders kind of roll over and take it. But this time, something seems to be a little bit different, at least for now. Germany says this is not our war. We have not started it. France says the same, as is the UK, which says it will not be drawn into the wider war. But Donald Trump, having failed to rally support or even give a heads up on his decision to go ahead with war, is not stopping with NATO. He's now demanding basically the world get involved. But just like NATO, our broader allies aren't interested either. Australia says it's not something they'd contribute to. Japan and South Korea appear to be buying time at the very least. The president is even trying to leverage China, threatening to delay his summit with Xi Jinping if they don't come help. The Wall Street Journal, citing people with knowledge of the discussion, reports that this problem should not have come as a surprise. That General Dan Kane told the president in several briefings that U.S. officials long believed Iran would deploy mines, drones, and missiles to close the strait. Quote, Trump acknowledged the risk, these people said, but moved forward, telling his team Tehran would likely capitulate before closing the strait. And even if Iran tried, the U.S. military could handle it.
That motherfucker is insane. He didn't gambled that he could scare these people into kissing his ass, but they ain't scared of you. Afghanistan didn't teach them nothing. You know what Trump and them are like? Trump and them are like all of these motherfucking reporters in the sports world who talk all this shit about these athletes. And these motherfuckers have never played a down of football, never shot a basket, never hit a hockey puck, but they got all this shit to say about all these pro athletes, and they don't know nothing about the game that they're reporting on other than sitting in the seats and clapping their hands watching them do it. The same could be said about Donald Trump. All of these years, them motherfuckers have been sitting on the sideline while other presidents and other leaders sent people to die in Afghanistan and all these different places, and that didn't teach them nothing. Any new president should look at all of that. And if they come into office and all of these warmongering fucks keep trying to pressure them and talk shit about them and pushing them into fucking wars, they should realize that these wars, and that's Barack Obama too. Barack Obama, we was in some conflicts with him. You know why? Because he knows that this is a game. He wasn't going to become president, go in there and actually stop some shit. They were going to murder this motherfucker. And the reason why this dude ain't dead that's in office now is because everybody is down with what he's doing. They may not like it, but he's got a buffer. He's got Israel. That's the precursor to everything. Israel's been running this country since the 40s, man. Since the 40s. These presidents are going to go to, you ask yourself, even when Barack was in office, why are we in Afghanistan? Well, he pulled people, he pulled some troops and stuff like that, but he still deported people. He did all kind of shit. He's going to fall in line, but he's also going to cover his ass. He was like, look, I'm finna put some regulation in here and get some bills passed that's going to make the lives of the American people seem tolerable. Not great, tolerable. That's what they do. Democratic leaders get in that office and all they do is they go, man, this don't make no sense. People got to feel like they at least climbing out of the hole. They may not be, but at least feeling like it. To where the Republicans, especially this new regime of nuts, these maggots or whatever they call them, these motherfuckers are like, fuck everybody, do what you want, get this money, pay the homies, and let's get it. That's how they think. This is a crazy ass world we live in right now. Let's listen to one more piece of sound. I got so much shit. I got so much sound, man. I can get all these stupid ass messages when I'm online. It's weird. It's fucking, it gets on my nerve. What was the other one here? Yeah, this is what he was saying about Gavin Newsom, but this is what the English are saying in Parliament over in England. This dude is not going to get no support from nobody. Listen to this.
President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland. This is an incredibly grave moment for the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. Trump has put British businesses and jobs on the front line in his unprovoked aggression. The only people cheering him on are Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Yeah. Only a few months ago, Trump hailed the special relationship at Windsor Castle. Now, thanks to his actions, it is nearly in tatters. So how do we stop Trump's damaging trade war? For a year now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has tried a policy of appeasing Trump, flattering him, fawning over him, refusing to stand up to him, because, he argued, otherwise Trump would hit us with damaging tariffs. Well, the Prime Minister has tested his approach to destruction. It has failed. It is time for the government to change course. We have to finally be clear-eyed about the sort of man Trump is and treat him accordingly. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. So there are only 2 ways of getting him to back down. Bribing him with a new jet perhaps, or a few billion in his crypto account.
Whoa.
Or standing up to him like we would with any other bully. Standing together with our European allies to make him back down. That's the choice. Which one, Foreign Secretary?
Yep. People have had it. People have had it around the world. You heard it right here. They're fucking sick of it. The United States is not the same place it was. The United States is not the same place it will be in the future. And to be honest with you, maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it's time to be revamped. Maybe it's time to clean the furnace. And all that bullshit he was saying in his first campaign to become the 45th, time to clean the swamp. Well, motherfucker, you not only came in the first time and put more crocodiles and pit vipers in there, you returned to even put more scum and more decadence to this country. So it's time to drain the swamp, all right, and your ass needs to be in it. This your boy OMD 300, man. Let's try to make a difference in this world because right now it seems like it really ain't none. Hey, check me out this Thursday on the Corner Store podcast. And yeah, y'all stay blessed, man.
Just
Yeah. 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 Speak. You made your vote, you think it count? The check you cash and shit then bounce. Egg prices really high. Damn. You worried about it, look to the sky. Damn. Praying by your bed at night. Damn. The pressure's on, the shit is tight. Damn. Your life is wrong, you living right. Damn. You wanna leave it all tonight. Nobody can help you now. Don't try to call out now. You screaming, begging, asking please. Yeah, while praying down on your knees. It won't make a bit of difference. It won't make a bit of difference.